Today we're going to talk about what I consider 5 essential preps for successful weight loss goals. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the camera so that you can see what I am looking at, and I'll just go over some of the things that are, just essential for not only weight loss goals, but for people who, I don't know, maybe ones who have other goals for like a competition or maybe running goals or things just to maybe stay organized and stay sane throughout the week. So here we go. Okay, so this is going to be difficult here, but I just want to make sure that you're able to see what it is that I am working with. Now, one of the things that is definitely a must when you are prepping and getting ready to just start a successful week, and it's not necessarily food prepping that I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting things out of your house that you really shouldn't have in there. And I'm going to show you some examples because right now when I'm recording, it is the beginning of November and we've just gotten over Halloween. So my daughter had made some, I think they were these little cake pop things for our neighbor's party. This was in the refrigerator, so this is definitely something that needs to just go. I need to get rid of it. I don't know why we even put it back in the refrigerator because we only use things like this for special occasions. So that's definitely something to get rid of. Another thing that I have, and I don't even know why I have it in here, and it's actually expired. So it may have been a recipe, and if I'm thinking the right way, it may have been something that my daughter wanted to try and she wanted to actually cook. So this is an Alfredo sauce, and I have a really easy, great recipe that I could make an Alfredo sauce myself. So this is something else that I would get rid of. Now, in addition to getting rid of things, like for instance, the sauce, I would bring in my recipe for a homemade Alfredo sauce. So that would be my replacement. If you like dressings on your salads, one of the things that I would definitely suggest to do is to just look at them, see what kind of ingredients are on them. They don't necessarily have to be organic and non-GMO, but the main thing is to look at the ingredients. So this one, my son loves to dip his veggies in ranch. So this is one that I have grown to really, really like. And I've gotten him used to this taste because if you think about it, everything else that's in the other brands of the ranch dressings, there's just a lot of stuff in there that we don't need. And his palate had gotten used to it. So this one this is vegan, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO. Veganese, which is a vegan mayonnaise. So there's the ingredients for that: filtered water, apple cider vinegar, olive oil, hemp seeds, flaxseed oil, lemon juice, and then some more hemp seed oil, spices, flour, xanthan gum, sea salt, and garlic. So the ingredients in here are nothing that I can't pronounce, for one thing. There are more than 5 ingredients on here, but basically that's because the base of it is the Veganese. So, but we're totally fine with that. So this is what I would think about when I have dressings that I want to use. Are they the best choice? My husband is a mayonnaise person. The mayonnaise that I like, I don't have in the refrigerator because I just don't use mayonnaise a lot. But the one that I like is actually the avocado mayonnaise. This one is the closest to the healthiest, I guess you could say, that I could get my husband to sort of convert to. So this is what we've done. So just, just see what choices you have. If in the event that you only can handle one type of mayonnaise, totally fine. Just make sure you're watching how much you're actually using when it comes to those recipes. Okay, so the first thing was getting rid of items that we really don't need. And then the second step is just replacing. So something else with dressings, and I'm going to show you the little recipe, is, just keeping it simple. We don't want to drown our vegetables in dressings. And one of my favorite ones is, it's just lime, salt, pepper, and olive oil. And then a little bit of the zest from the lime as well. And you just whisk that up. And you can use it for so many things. I mean, you can use it for a marinade. You can use it for a dressing for a salad. Maybe with quinoa, there's so many different things you can do with it. So I'm gonna move the camera a little bit more so you can see how I put that one together. All right, so this little dressing that I'm gonna show you, all I'm using is a half a lime. And I don't know if you're familiar with the fact that if you take a lime and just roll it a few seconds, it helps to separate, I guess it would be like the little fibers in there, so that it's easier to juice. So all I'm gonna do is juice this lime, however much I can actually get out. The little pulp is totally fine. So we'll juice that. I'm not quite sure what happened to my zester, so yeah, I'm gonna use a cheese grater just so that I can get a few little pieces of the lime zest in here. And it's not much, but either way. Okay, so that. And then just some sea salt, just turn it once, maybe twice, a little bit more of the pepper. And then I'm gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then just whisk it up. Super simple. And it sort of gets thick, it like emulsifies. So there's that. And if I'm not going to use it, I would put it in, I would just put it in a little jar that is sealable. And you would store it in the refrigerator, and I don't know, you can actually keep it in there for up to a week, but when I make things fresh, I try not to go overboard and make too much, because then I like things fresh, so I personally wouldn't want it to sit more than a couple of days. So that's why I only use the half a lime. And usually it would definitely be used within a couple of days. And you can use this as a marinade for chicken, salmon, you know, turkey, if you have like some turkey breasts. And then you can also toss it inside of some salads, which that's what I'm gonna show you next. Okay, so before we get to actually making a salad with the dressing that we just did, we're gonna go over number 3. So first, you're gonna get rid of items that you shouldn't have, and you're going to replace them if they're things that may need replacements. So that's number 2. The next thing is to make your staples, meaning make some quinoa ahead of time, make some brown rice, maybe some chicken. So I put some things together, and it only took me about 45 minutes to do. And what I would have ultimately done, had I been doing this for my own week's worth of food, I would have either baked some chicken or maybe even just tossed it in the slow cooker and had that go for a few hours. So you want to make sure that whatever protein you want to use throughout the week, you're going to make that as well. Go ahead and chop any vegetables you're going to use. These are great to have in the refrigerator with maybe some hummus, or even if you like to dip in the salad dressings, you can do that as well. In addition to slicing peppers, I always have peppers in my refrigerator. I also diced up some red pepper. There's some carrot in there. And earlier I even had some yellow peppers in there, but I used those. So having these cut up is a really great idea too. You just want to make sure that you use these within a couple of days, because they will start, because there's so much surface that has been cut, they're gonna start getting soft if you don't use them. So use those within a couple of days, maybe 3 days. So let's see, we have peppers. The other thing that I had done ahead of time as well, make some egg muffins. I call them muffins because you put them in the muffin tin. So with this, it was I wrote this down, 3 whole eggs and 6 egg whites. Whisk that up, and then any of the peppers or carrots that I chop up, I put those in there. A couple of these, I chopped up some mushrooms. That's great vitamin D added in there. So I have that. One of them has, well, 2 of them have spinach. Another one I put in a piece of, what's it called? Some parsley. I also tried one with a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese. If you don't, like if you're vegan, you can actually use some nutritional yeast. And that it doesn't melt like cheese, but it definitely has the taste of that kind of cheese. So that's a really good idea as well. Okay, so the quinoa, you can do the brown rice, chicken, turkey. If you're doing tofu, if there's a way that you marinate the tofu, you can do that as well. Drain and rinse your beans if you're thinking some vegetarian choices, because you want to have that ready as well. And then you're going to put them into containers. Now, when I'm thinking of the proteins, I'm going to take my proteins that I've done and I'm going to put them in some sort of a container, whether it be one of my glass dishes or a jar that has a top. That's what I'm going to put that in. So you could put in your rice or your quinoa, and then whatever protein source you're going to have as well. Then once you do that, and I'm actually going to do it with this one, even though I don't have any protein out here. So we're separating the portions. So you put that in there and make a little mess. So put that in there and whatever you're going to use for your protein. And then you already have your chopped up veggies. Put a little bit of those in there. I would actually put a lot more in there, but shake up your dressing a little bit and then add. Ooh, I'm making a mess. Okay, and then once you have it in here, the dressing, and you're ready to eat it, you would just shake it up and everything is all mixed in. So you don't have to, especially if you're going to use the quinoa, I wouldn't put the dressing in there right away, just because it is a soft grain. I'm not sure if it'll get mushy if you're not eating it right away. So just put in your grains, the protein source that you're going to use, and your vegetables, and seal it off. And then when you're ready to use it, you would just pull out, your dressing and put that in there as well. Let's see, another thing, because we're thinking breakfast. If you've never done overnight oats, they are amazing. And I wanted to test to make sure I wasn't going to tell you a story. So as I was getting this ready, I put together not only a little pack of overnight oats, I also put it in a bowl and just let it sit while I was getting things ready. So, because there are times when you just forget. So I wanted to see if I could do essentially overnight oats and just let them sit while I was getting other things ready for the morning, and then eventually have my breakfast. So what I put in here was a half a cup of oats, about a teaspoon of chia seeds, just a tad of sea salt. And I like the sea salt because, as odd as it may sound, it does give it a little bit of a sweet boost. Some cinnamon, some of my favorite vanilla protein powder. I didn't put the whole amount, I put about 2 tablespoons worth in. Some flaked coconut, some walnuts, and then when I was ready to eat it, I actually put some fresh raspberries on it as well. So for the raspberries, after I put all those ingredients together, I put about a cup of almond milk in it, and I stirred it up and I just let it sit there. Now if you're gonna do it overnight, you would put all of those ingredients in here along with your milk and just shake it up. Seal it off, put it in the refrigerator, and when you get up in the morning, you're gonna stir it up a little bit and add your fresh fruit. For me, like I said, because I wanted to see how it actually worked in the event that we forget to do that the night before, I did the same thing, put everything together, mixed it up, and I think I went back to it about 20 minutes later, and it was just this, it was the same way as it would have been had I left it in the refrigerator overnight. These are the old-fashioned rolled oats, so they're thinner. If you use the steel cut, you actually have to cook the steel cut beforehand. And I don't use the quick cooking oats. The old-fashioned is just as good, and it actually, I like mine. I don't want mine to be super duper mushy, so that's a good one to choose. All right, so we have the overnight oats. Another thing that you could do too to prepare for the next morning if you want to do smoothies instead of overnight oats is take and use some Ziploc bags and put whatever ingredients you're going to use for your smoothies. So you're going to have a little smoothie bag. So whatever fruits you want to put in there, just seal them off, label it with whatever smoothie it is that you're doing, and then that morning all you have to do is dump it, put in your liquid. If you're using a protein powder, add that to it. You could even add to your smoothies whatever. I always love to put turmeric in mine. It's a great antioxidant. So you could even sprinkle this inside of that bag. It doesn't have to be put in the day that you're actually making it. And those bags will last a long time. So you can put several of those together. Let's see, so we have getting rid of non-needed foods and condiments, replacing with the good ones, making your staples as I've shown you here, and then you're going to separate those portions to place them into their individualized serving containers. And I guess you don't have to do that, but it's so much more convenient and it's cute. So, and then number 5 is to repeat. So just do that every week, and maybe it's every 3 or 4 days, you know, whatever it is that's going to work for you. The whole thing about it is just, you know, getting rid of the stuff that we don't need in our, you know, our food choices, so that we're not going to have a bad day and grab this out of the refrigerator, and then just putting together those good things. And really, it may seem like a lot to do, and you know, I've experienced it firsthand with super healthy kids and then as myself at home, and it is a transition. So if you're not used to taking that 30 minutes to sometimes 60 minutes and get this ready on top of, you know, planning out the meals and going and purchasing it, it's going to take time. It definitely is, and it might take a few cycles to run through to really feel confident and get quick about it. If you have kids, get them in the kitchen with you. They love to do things like this, you know, cutting it up, and if there was red and green in here, it would be a really fun thing for them to put together because it's full of colors. You know, all of these other little types of containers that you use, kids love using this stuff as well. So making it fun and getting some help is definitely going to get you over that hump. But I truly feel that if we're not prepared in some sort of a way, even if it is things as simple as getting rid of the stuff that we shouldn't be eating, that's the first step. So figure out how it can work for you and definitely make it happen, because I really feel that this is a huge step for you to reach your goals. Until tomorrow, have a great day.